evening, everybody. Good evening. This is All Things Cheryl here with another review and another recap of Queen Sugar, season 4, episode 8. I'm back as promised earlier in the morning around 4:30 or whatever. I basically did my review on episode 7. I was going to try to do episode 7 and 8 basically together, but I changed my mind. One reason why is because so much went on in episode 8. So before we get on, let's do a little housekeeping. I'd like for you to do a couple of things, and those things is to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the videos, and comment on the videos. Episode 8, Queen Sugar, Season 4, All Borders. We see that Micah and Charley are basically at the mill. Of course, previously, as you know, Charley got a call at home and she found out that the mill was burning. And so we see in this episode, Charley and Micah is basically sitting there, completely staring at the building. While they're basically staring at the building, Charley is basically looking out. It's almost into the fire, and then basically we see that a person comes out, and he explained to Charley that basically this was deliberately set fire. Someone set the fire to the queen, to Queen Sugar. Charley also went on and told them it basically took them 30 minutes to get there, and the fireman said that no one really called or anything like that. Someone from the outside, I guess a moving passenger or something, saw the mill on fire. So basically they called. In the meantime, while Charley is basically dealing with all of the fact that someone has set their mill on fire, here comes Kiki. Kiki is very, very happy due to the fact that Michael is okay. He did not get harmed, and she was relieved to find out that he was okay. And then, of course, we see that Nova. I don't even know, Nova baby. I don't even know why you even showed up. But basically, she did show up, and I think that was good because she was basically showing her support. But they didn't really want to see him. Nova, you don't have your card back. You're not invited to the dinners, the barbecues. They still are mad at you. And so Nova tells Charley and Ralph Angel she heard exactly what was going on. So I'm assuming that she, broke all ties. She stopped her promotion on the book because of what was going on. And basically Charley and Ralph Angel looked at her as to why you even here. I don't even know why you here. We don't. And so we find out the reason why Nova showed up is because Michael says, well, he basically called her and he basically told her what was going on. And then Michael says she is still part of the family, right? And so at this point, Nova has not gotten her card back as far as being the family and everything. And so we find out that Charley and basically Ralph Angel, when they basically found out that their sugar mill, Queen Sugar, was basically set on fire deliberately. This is when Charley and Ralph Angel is basically getting ready to bust a move. They get ready to bust a move. They get ready to find out who the heck did this. And of course, we know Charley knows where to go. But before they get ready to make their move, we hear Nova in the background saying, well, we don't want to make any rational moves, so we just wait. And see, this is when Charley turned around and said, whoa, the audacity of you saying about we. You're not even a part of the family. Don't even use the word we. In other words, don't even, girl, don't even utter it. And so they left Nova standing in the middle, looking dumbfounded. And so we see that Charley and Ralph Angel goes over to Francis. Now, Francis is sitting in this luxury. You could tell that this is old money. When I say old money, her place was basically laid. And so before they go in, this is what I said, this is like a gangster move, buster move. Ralph Angel and Charley comes into the door, and so Charley tells Ralph Angel to, keep an eye out. Don't let anybody in, because right now I'm getting ready to do some whoop ass. And so this is where Charley comes in, and she sees Francis. And Francis is like, "Oh, Charley, I'm so sorry to hear about I hear about the mill and everything. Let's kumbaya and let's do the sisterhood." And Charley says, "Stop the bullshit. Stop this. Just stop all this bullshit." She says, like, "I know what you did. I know who's involved in it. Old World Gas or whatever. You and your brother, the brochure and the land, you guys had something to do with this." And then this is when Francis said, "Oh, Charley, I didn't even do this. I don't even think, how would I even do this?" And then this is when the dialogue went. Now, I can't remember the dialogue, although the dialogue went something like Charley called her, insinuated that she might be a slave, and then Francis says, "Well, I'm not a slave." And then it went on to another kind of dialogue, and it went, "Well, I'm kind of sort of basically glad that, your sugar mill basically burnt down, because really, girl," or did she call her a girl? Can't remember. But she called her a girl and said, "Girl." And so then this is when we see the true colors. We see the true colors of Francis. When I say the true colors, this is when Francis really showed her colors. I believe she's a part of the Trump, let's make America white again. And so this is when Francis go on and says that she loves the cane, and the reason why she loves the cane is because how it's the purification of it, and when it goes down into the machine, it comes out lily white. It's pure right. I said, "Oh," and then this is when Charley said, "Oh, now we're seeing the true colors of who you are." Then this is when Francis said, "How dare you come here with your basketball money, come here with all your, in other words, all your highfalutin, the way you carry yourself, and all of the scandals and stuff that you got going and stuff." And so Charley said, and then this is when, what did she say? I wrote it down. And so Charley went on and said, "I know about the cahoots. I know about you and your brother Sam. Basically, you guys had something to do with it." And this is when Charley, or was it Charley? Oh no, this is when Francis told Charley, well, Charley asked Francis, were you the one who tried to basically set me up to get Jacob to kind of fall for me? And then this is where Francis was telling Charley, like, "I don't know what you're talking about. You and my brother and Jacob, in other words, they like to cross over and they like to mix the bloodline." So after she said the bloodline, delaying the bloodline, I'm saying to myself, she said some other things. I can't remember it all, but I did get the gist of it. The gist is that apparently Jacob and Sam, they probably was fraternizing with colored people, because this is when Francis told Charley that she thinks that she's what did she say? She's like a mulatto or mulatto mixed with some kind of color, and you think that you're white, but you're not, and so and your mother and something about the mother, right? And so this is when Charley said, "Okay, now you know you're black. You know you're black. With girl, you never say anything about okay." When it comes to black people, all you gotta do is mention the name mother, and they may not be able getting along with their family and everything, or getting along with their mother. The mother could be one of the scum of the earth. But one thing we will do, we will protect our mother. So this is what Charlie said, keep my mother's mouth out of your name. Out of your mouth. Don't you utter a word. Keep my mother's name out of your mouth. I said, oh, Francis, you mess around and you gonna get your little self slapped up, hooked up, because Ralph Agent is not gonna let anybody come through that door. So to make a long story short, Charlie called her trash. She said, I feel sorry for you. But then again, I don't feel sorry for your ass. I was like, oh shit. And then this is when Charlie she comes out and she's like breathing really hard. She's breathing real hard. I said, Charlie, calm down, calm down. We don't want you to have a stroke. We don't want you to have a heart attack. Because you know Charlie gets real emotional when it's got anything to do with her family and with the family. And so while Ralph Angel and Charlie is basically dealing with Francis, we see Aunt Violet. Aunt Violet is basically in the diner, and she's just like calm as a cucumber. I was like, okay, and she has this little bowl or something. I don't know what she was eating, but she was like eating something, and she was really calm. And then all of a sudden, Sam comes through the restaurant, and I was like, what going on? Whoa, Sam, what's up? And this is when Aunt Valley said, I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, I didn't call you when somebody came through and vandalized and messed up my diner. I started to drop a dime and call on you, because you have a favorite that you basically got to do. But she said, no, I kind of chilled. I hold off and I kind of handled it. But this one right here, you would mess with and you have hurt Charlie to the core. I mean, seriously, to the core. And she said, you know what? I'm basically calling my favorite in. And I'm just like, and Violet, what do you have on Sam? You got something on Sam. It's because when you said that it's time for you to cash in, it's time for her to cash in her dividends, time for her to, cash in her coupons. But it must be like huge coupons, because when when she's basically told him that, his face looked like he was like scared than a muck. So apparently Aunt Violet got something, and here we go. Even though Nova did write this book, and even though she did screw up everything, but in some shape form, Nova was right, because Aunt Violet knows a little bit more than what she's really, really saying. Anytime that she's got Sam by the balls, she got Sam by the balls, and so then she said, "I don't care whoever you with." You need to go and you need to fix it, and you need to wheel in your dogs, and you need to fix it. And then Sam said, well, I'll try to fix it. I'll try to do it. And then Aunt Violet was basically sit there eating her little thing. I don't know what was in that little bowl, but she was just as calm. I mean, she was like, I was saying, Aunt Violet, what is going on? And perhaps what Francis said in the earlier about Jacob and him mixing with the race. I don't know. Maybe Sam got some babies out here, or somebody knows something, or maybe that auntie that Nova had that interview with, that she thought she was the only living soul survivor, but come to find out she might. Maybe that could be some hookup. I'm not quite sure, but I got a feeling that that auntie somewhere in the boondock somewhere over in the cut got something to do with Sam. I think it's got something to do with Sam. So Aunt Violet says, I don't care what you do, you better fix it, and you better fix it now. And so we go on and we see that, excuse me, I gotta put on my glasses because I wrote down a lot of stuff. Okay, so we go on and we see that Nova comes to the diner. And when she comes to the diner, Nova see Prosperous. And basically Nova's looking for Aunt Violet, but Aunt Violet is nowhere to be found. And this is when um, Prosperous tells Nova, he says, Nova, I basically need to talk to you about a chapter that you wrote in your book. And we found out that what Nova basically thought, she saw her father digging in the ground, burying a body. It wasn't. Basically, what had happened, it was basically Ernest uh, digging in the ground, burying some bloody clothes, because basically the guy who basically wanted to hurt Nova when she was very small, Ernest, almost killed him. And so Prosperous went on and told Nova a little bit more about really what happened. And this is what I'm saying. Now, you go all the way to another place. You go in cahoots and you go talk to Jimmy Dale, and you disrupt the peace and everything in that ballot. And instead of you going to Prosperous and finding out the true information, because basically Prosperous and Ernest was very close, but no, you wanted to go to Jimmy Dale. So we find out that one piece of the story that Noble basically wrote was not true. She fabricated a lot of stuff. Now I don't know whether or not this later on is going to come and bite her in the behind, but apparently I'm thinking that it will later on. Now we go on and we see that Darla has met Deshanta. I think it's Deshanta or Deshel or Deshanta or Deshel. I don't know. But anyway, chocolate, dark, lovely brown sugar. Darla has met her. And so Darla basically comes to the farm, and the reason why she comes to the farm because she's at home and she hears, over the news what was happening, and they believe it was an arsoner, that it was, someone tried to deliberately set the farm on fire. So Darla decides to take her little frail butt over to Ralph Angel's farm, and then guess what? She gets a rude awakening. She sees brown sugar, dark sugar, lovely sugar. Well, basically, she's there to basically give Ralph Angel some pointers and to let Ralph Angel know that he is going to have to basically go in front of the review for the reentry program. So she's basically there, letting Ralph Angel know exactly what he needs and what he should be prepared. In the meantime, Darla is standing there, and so Ralph Angel's friend says, "Well, let me step out and before she steps out, she kind of sort of puts her hand on Ralph Angel on the shoulder and let Darla know, like, uh, my turn now. So anyway, we go on, and so we find that Nova is really having some hard times, right? And so we go on, and Ralph Angels is basically the chocolate girlfriend, who's basically the lawyer. Ralph Angel and her is basically sitting in the review board, reviewing the case, and she's basically letting them know about Ralph Angel due to the fact that he was very good. He has good, he has good reports and everything. But the board basically really wasn't really concerned about Ralph Angel, and his good behaviors and everything. What they was really worried about was that due to the fact that Queen Sugar basically has been burned, and due to the fact that Ralph Angel has this reentry program that's basically for inmates and people who basically be in jail, he has to produce 40 hours of paycheck. And so they basically told Ralph Angel that they wanted to know exactly how he's going to be able to to provide paychecks and everything for them. And Ralph Ancients basically tried to go on to explain that he suffered some damage, but he didn't suffer a lot of damage. But really, the board really didn't really want to hear about that. And so basically they told Ralph Angel that for right now they didn't give her and didn't give them an answer or anything, but for right now they basically are going to review the case, and they just left it. So at this time we see Ralph Angel, and Ralph Angel is basically, he doesn't really know what he's going to do. And so then we go on, and we come to the where we find out that Ralph Angel's girlfriend, lawyer friend, I can't pronounce her name, so I'm just going to say Doc Lovely Chocolate, was basically at the dinner. Noah has found out that um, Aunt Violet is basically cooking dinner because she feels that it'd be a best way with everything that's going on. That they, Queen Sugar has this thing about, they always gather around the table for dinner and everything. So, did they do it last year? I don't think they did it, or did they? I'm not quite sure, but the traditional thing is, they get together around dinner time, and everybody, and it was good. They did a nice little prayer, but of course, Nova was basically basically missing from this gathering. And so we go on, and we see Nova. Basically, Nova's basically at home while everybody else is over at the house, because Nova's, barbecue card, the family gathering card, has been snatched. In other words, she has maxed out. So she got to, I don't know what she's going to do. She's maxed out. She's got to figure out a way how to get back, how to replenish that card. And so in the meantime, Nova's at home, and she's all by herself. And so she gets on the phone and she calls Calvin. And then she tells Calvin that basically her family doesn't want to have anything to do with her. She basically went to the mall, went to the mill, and they didn't even want to, hey, what can we say, Nova? You shouldn't have wrote that book. If you should have went to them and told them what you were going to do. But no, you wanted to just go ahead and do it on your own. So anyway, these are the consequences you got to suffer. So she calls and she cries. We see the little tears, and and Calvin tells her to calm down, to breathe and everything. And then this is when she says, "I lost my family. I lost my family. My family has disowned me. My family has disowned me. What I'm gonna do?" And so I'm saying, okay, your family has disowned you. You did it to yourself. So in the meantime, while she's dealing with it, we basically see that Doc Chocolate and Ralph Angel is discussing the reentry program again. And so Doc Chocolate tells Ralph Angel exactly, what she had to do in order to become a lawyer, and the fact that her father of her daughter basically left them when she was 6 years old, and she was basically studying for the bar, and she didn't know exactly how she was going to get to the bar. In other words, she was giving Ralph Angel a pep talk. Okay, giving a pep talk. Let me just say, it got very passionate, got very heated, and she's basically telling Ralph Angel to don't give up or anything. Then she was at the kitchen table and she was putting stuff in the dishes, and next thing we know, she was on his lap. So you know what happened then. It went on, and so then while that was going on, we see Kiki and Micah. Kiki and Micah. Kiki and Micah was basically in the car. Kiki was telling Micah that she wanted him to basically go to the prom with her, and that and Michael was like, okay, yeah, we go to the prom and everything. I'll get a tux, and you could do whatever the colors. I order a limousine and everything. And then this one, Kiki says, we need to make plans after the after the prom. You know what I mean? Like after the plan. What everybody do is like consummation. I mean, you know, bringing our love together. And then that's when Michael was like, oh, okay. He says, he asks, and he's a gentleman. He says, are you sure you're ready about this? And this is when Kiki says, I'm ready to talk about it. So basically, Kiki basically ready to give up her little, yeah. So we don't know exactly, okay, I don't know what we're going to see. We're going to see a prom. I don't know what we're going to see. And so in the meantime, while they are basically dealing with that, we see that Calvin has made his way over to basically see Nova. But Nova has no idea that Calvin is going to be coming to see her. So she basically gets a knock on the door, and guess who it is? It's the love of her almost life. And it sounds to say the love of her almost life is, remember now, we have seen all three, so far we've seen three. Chantel, we seen Dr. Duvea, and now we see Calvin. And Calvin was basically, and she said, almost. So we got one more ex to meet. And maybe he might have been the love, but she says it was Calvin. So we don't know, because remember, the tour was interrupted by the fire. So she has to get back on that tour. She has to promote that fire. So basically, we go and we know that Ralph Angel, basically, we talked about Brown Chocolate and Ralph Angel and them basically getting together. And Ralph Angel cooked. And then we get a call while we see them two. We get a call from Darla. Darla has basically called Ralph Angel again. Now, Darla, you've already came prior for the, you didn't come during the meal. You came while the woman was there giving Ralph Angel some advice. Then you're gonna call him again, and he tells you that everything is okay. So basically, she just wanted to talk to him. Dollar is basically still in love with Ralph Angel, even though Ralph Angel, I'm not quite sure about Ralph Angel. I don't know how Ralph Angel is feeling right now. I'm gonna let you know. I'm feeling dark chocolate. I'm feeling, because I think that I'm hoping and I want that to work. That's really good. And so we go on and we see Charley is at home by herself, basically sitting down, getting ready to basically, try to calm herself down after all of this. And so we see that Romaro Romero knocks on the door. Charley was very, very happy to see him. But he comes in mad and angry due to the fact that he basically found out that the two undocumented immigrants uh, uh, was found on her farm, and she was responsible for those two basically getting killed on a farm. And so, typical. He gets mad, although, we kind of figured that if Romero basically found out basically what was going to happen, right? We knew that he basically was going to basically walk out on her. Now, Romero, this is what I have to say to you. When you all started getting together, you all started getting hot and heavy and everything. She basically told you she wanted you to read that book so you could get some idea about who she was in her past, who she was. And you told her that you didn't want to know about her past. So these two guys that basically died, these two undocumented that basically died, that's a part of her past. And she tried to give you a head up. Now, Romero, I believe that you got something hidden too, because the reason why I said that when you guys were getting hot and heavy again, and Charley asked you once or twice, she says, "Is there something that you need for me to know about you?" And basically, you told her no. So I'm thinking that Romero has something in his past too that he didn't really share with Charley either. Now, Romero, let me tell you what you just did, boo boo. You just opened up the floodgates for Jacob. Due to the fact that Jacob and Charley are basically, when it comes to heated passion, when it comes to, being attracted to each other, she found out from Francis that Francis did not put up, that Jacob is really does like Charley, and Francis really don't. So basically, Romero, you have just opened up a can of worms, and I believe you're going to have to fight if you really like Charley. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because there's a lot going on. Now, I left out something because I was getting ready to close it, but I left out something. Uh, uh, Calvin basically came to see Nova, and Nova cooked for them, and then Nova sat down and basically had a conversation with Calvin, because prior, Michael finally gets to meet Calvin, and this is when Michael asked Calvin, said, "Oh, you're the white cop who, the white cop." And so this is when Calvin left the room. I know I'm jumping around and everything, but Calvin left the room, and then this is when Michael told Nova exactly how he felt about it. Her dating a white guy who basically was on a police force where they were being abusive to brown and black people. And so this is when, this is when Michael asked Nova, "Have you ever asked Calvin if he himself was an abusive cop himself when he was on the force?" And so this is when Nova says no, she didn't do that. But she did take the opportunity to basically ask the question. She asked Calvin, she says, "Well, were you around when these cops basically abused black and brown people?" And he said yes, he was. He said, and then she asked him questions again. She said, "Well, did you yourself basically abused anyone yourself?" He said basically no. And then he went on and said that, he was a coward, that the fact that Nova did take most of the all the abuse and everything when it came to the two of them, being in a couple. And so we know for a fact that Nova and Calvin is really, really trying to, what they really want to make this relationship to work out. Now, getting back to Romero, you had something in your past that you have not. shared with Charley, and Charley gonna find that out. She gonna find that out, and when she find that out, I don't know. It might be too late. She might be in the arms of Jacob. Then again, she might not. We don't know, but I do know this: Queen Sugar, you guys, y'all taking no prisoners. This season 4 of the writers, you guys are just. So what y'all gonna do with Charley this time? I want to know what's gonna happen. Is Charley, is Romaro and Charley still gonna try to remain and try to work it out, or are y'all gonna put Jacob and Charley together? What's up with Aunt Violet? Now, this is the kicker right here. Now, I'm thinking, that's just me. I'm thinking for Aunt Violet to basically sit there when Sam basically came and told Aunt Violet that he had nothing to do with that, and then he went to Charley and told Charley that he had nothing to do with that. That's not his, that's not his MO. But when Aunt Violet sit there and was eating that, I don't know what she was eating, porridge, grits, I don't know, whatever the hell she was eating. She was just as calm, collected as ever. And apparently it's something that's so devastating that had Sam shaking in his boots. Shaking in his boots. Well, that's my commentary. And I'm really sad about. Please don't have Charley do a breakdown. Guys, the writers, don't do it. Don't do it. Let her be able to get through it. I know, because right now it looks like she was breaking down, because even when they was at dinner, and Aunt Violet did basically a prayer. She prayed for everybody, and she also prayed for that niece of hers. She says that niece of hers is so stubborn. She says, but watch over her, protect her, guide her, and make her understand the wrong ways that she basically did. But look, guys, till the next time, next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to come. Might be a little late, but I'm going to come. I want to thank all you guys who've basically been in there, hanging in there with me, and I have basically did do my, The Real Black China review. It's basically up. Go over there and check it out. Until the next time, remember, peace and love is for everyone. Love is for everyone, and we also, all of us, need to be humble and kind. Take care.